I was 2 blocks from the grocery store, walking home because my car had decided to become a very expensive lawn ornament, when I saw the old woman stop in the middle of the sidewalk and lower 2 grocery bags to the ground. She didn't drop them. She placed them down carefully, like she was trying to negotiate with her own arms. I kept walking for about 5 steps, because I'm not the kind of guy who assumes every stranger wants help. Then one of the bags tilted, a carton of eggs slid toward the edge, and she muttered, "Oh, come on, Ruth. This is how you end up on the evening news." That made me turn around. "Mom," I called. "You need a hand?" She looked at me over her glasses. "Dippins. Are you helpful, or are you one of those men who offers help and then makes a woman feel like she ruined his whole afternoon?" "I was planning to ruin my own afternoon," I told her. "You'd just be giving it structure." She studied me for a second, then nodded toward the bags. "Fine. But don't steal my oranges. I'll try to control myself." Her name was Evelyn Whitaker, and she lived about half a mile away. I found that out in the first 3 minutes. In the next 5, I learned she had opinions on grocery prices, men under 40, self-checkout machines, and her daughter's stubborn refusal to let anyone help her. "Young people don't know how to receive kindness anymore," she said as we walked. "I think some of us just don't want the bill that comes with it." She glanced at me. "You're divorced." "No? Single?" "Yes." "That explains the tone." "What tone?" "That cautious tone men get when they've learned peace is cheaper than drama." I laughed. "That's not a bad summary. What's your name?" "Mark." "Mark what?" "Daniels." "Age?" 34. "Job?" "Facilities manager for a medical office building." She smiled a little. "Practical man. I own a toolbox and 2 pairs of boots." "Let's not get carried away." "What are you doing walking home, practical man?" "My car's in the shop. Transmission issue. The mechanic says it'll be ready Friday, which means Monday if he's honest and Wednesday if he's frank." "Frank is your mechanic." "Unfortunately." She nodded like she understood this deeply. Never trust a man who gives you a weekday instead of a date. For half an hour, I carried her bags while she talked like we had known each other for years. I didn't mind. My house was quiet most nights. Too quiet sometimes. I had gotten used to coming home, heating up leftovers, checking messages I didn't care about, and pretending that simple meant satisfied. Evelyn noticed more than I expected. "You live alone," she said, as we turned onto a street with older houses and small yards. "I didn't say that. You don't have to. Men who live with someone walk faster. Men who live alone don't mind detours." That's a lot of confidence from a woman who almost lost a carton of eggs. "Those eggs brought us together, Mark. Show some respect." We stopped at a small house with clean steps and a porch chair by the door. Before I could set the bags down and leave, Evelyn opened the front door and called inside. "Sarah, I brought groceries and a man." I froze. "Excuse me?" She patted my arm. "Don't look scared. It's unbecoming." A woman came from the back of the house, wiping her hands on a towel. She was beautiful in a way that didn't announce itself. Not polished, not trying too hard, just real. Tired eyes, direct look, the kind of face that made you want to hear what she was about to say. Then she saw the bags in my hands. "Mom." Her voice sharpened. "Why didn't you call me?" Evelyn stepped inside like a queen returning from battle. "Because I'm not helpless." "You carried all this from Henderson's?" "I carried none of it. Mark carried it." Sarah looked at me. "Mark? That's me," I said. "Temporary pack mule, no membership card yet." Her mouth twitched, but she fought it. "I'm sorry she does this." "I do not do this," Evelyn said. "I accept help from quality men when the universe provides one." Sarah closed her eyes for half a second. "Mom, what?" "He offered. I'm sure he had somewhere to be. I did, technically." An empty house, leftover meatloaf, and a refrigerator that hummed like it had emotional problems. "I'm fine," I said. "Really?" Sarah stepped aside. "At least come in and let me get those from you." I carried the bags to the kitchen while Sarah unpacked, and Evelyn supervised from the doorway like she had personally engineered civilization. "You didn't have to walk her all the way home," Sarah said quietly. "She didn't give me many choices." Evelyn pointed at me. "Smart man. He listens." Sarah gave her mother a look. You are enjoying this way too much. I am enjoying being alive, fed, and correct. I should have left right then. I knew it. I could feel that line where polite help becomes accidental involvement. I was good at stopping before that line, maybe too good. I didn't like pushing into people's lives. I didn't like feeling like a problem someone was too polite to remove. So I stepped back from the counter. Well, I'm glad you got everything home. I'll get out of your way. Nonsense, Evelyn said. You're staying for dinner. Sarah's head snapped toward her. Mom. No, a man carries my groceries home, he eats. That's the rule. I've never heard that rule, Sarah said. That's because you don't read the family constitution. I raised a hand. I appreciate it, but I don't want to impose. Evelyn looked at her daughter. He thinks eating chicken and potatoes is imposing. See? Manners. Rare. Sarah leaned against the counter and looked at me with embarrassment and amusement mixed together. You really don't have to stay. I know. Then why do you look like you're considering it? Because your mother scares me a little. Sarah laughed then, quick and real, and that was the first problem. Evelyn clapped once. Good. Settled. Dinner was simple. Chicken, potatoes, green beans, and enough tension to make the table feel smaller than it was. Evelyn asked me questions like she was running a background check without paperwork. Family? Parents in Ohio. Older brother in Denver. Any strange hobbies? Depends who you ask. I'm asking me, then no. Sarah cut in. Mom, stop interrogating him. I'm not interrogating. I'm establishing whether he's safe near casseroles. I pointed my fork at Evelyn. For the record, I respect casseroles. Sarah shook her head, smiling despite herself. Don't encourage her. I think that ship left port before I got here. Evelyn seemed pleased with everything, which should have warned me. Halfway through dinner, she looked at the clock and stood. My show. Sarah stared at her. Your show is recorded. I prefer the emotional danger of watching it live. Mom. Evelyn picked up her plate. You two talk, Mark. Don't leave before dessert. Sarah, don't act like you don't know where the pie is. Then she disappeared down the hall. Sarah sat still for a second. I set my fork down. Well, I said, subtle woman. Sarah covered her face with one hand. I am so sorry. No, it was smooth. Very covert, like a raccoon wearing a fake mustache. That broke her. She laughed hard enough to lean back in her chair, and I laughed too because there was nothing else to do. The awkwardness didn't vanish, but it changed shape. It became something we could stand inside without wanting to run. She's not usually this bad, Sarah said. That sounds like a daughter defending a repeat offender. She worries about me. Because you don't call her when she buys too many groceries? Because? Sarah stopped, then reached for her glass. Because she worries. I didn't press. That was another line. I saw it and stayed on my side. So, she said, facilities manager? Very glamorous. Leaking pipes, broken locks, HVAC complaints. I once received a 5-paragraph email about a toilet making a judgmental sound. Sarah smiled. Was it? It had attitude. She told me she worked as a coordinator for a nonprofit that helped adults with job placement and training. She was good at talking about other people's progress and careful when the conversation came near her own life. I noticed that. I also noticed she didn't fish for compliments, didn't perform, didn't fill silence just to avoid it. At one point, Evelyn yelled from the other room, "Ask him if he likes dogs." Sarah yelled back, "No, I do," I called. Sarah looked horrified. You don't have to answer her. I'm already in the system. She rested her elbows on the table. You're handling this better than most men would. Most men don't train for this. I had an aunt who could ask your credit score before dessert. Sarah's smile softened. You're easy to talk to. That one landed differently. I looked down at my plate for a second, because I didn't want to make too much of it. So are you? I said. Which is inconvenient. Inconvenient? I plan to go home, eat something mediocre, and not meet anyone interesting. She looked at me a little longer than necessary. Sorry to disrupt your very full schedule. It's a burden, but I'm managing. By the time I looked at the clock again, it was almost 11. I had stayed far longer than any reasonable grocery assistant should. Evelyn had reappeared twice, once for pie and once to announce she was going to bed, though I was pretty sure she stayed within hearing range. I stood near the front door and picked up my jacket. "I should go," I said. "I've already abused the hospitality." Sarah walked me to the porch. "You didn't. Your mom fed me like she was preparing me for winter. She likes you. She likes that I have a pulse and carried bags." "No," Sarah said, and her voice got quieter. "She likes you." That should have been the moment I asked for her number. It was obvious, painfully obvious. But there was that old hesitation in me. I didn't want to make the evening feel like a transaction. I didn't want her to think kindness came with a hook in it, so I smiled and stepped down onto the walkway. "Tell her thank you again." Sarah frowned slightly. "That's it?" I paused. "What?" She came down one step and reached for my hand. Not dramatic, just enough to stop me. "You're leaving without my number?" I looked at her hand, then at her. I was trying not to be pushy. She tilted her head. "Mark, my mother practically fired a flare gun over dinner. That did seem like advanced signaling. And you're going to let all her work go to waste?" "Well, when you put it like that, I'd hate to disrespect the operation." She gave me her number, and I put it in my phone under Sarah Whitaker. She watched me type. "You didn't even ask if I wanted you to call," I said. "You carried groceries, survived my mother, and made me laugh on a night I really didn't expect to laugh. You can call." I looked toward the house. "Also, I know where you live." She laughed, but there was a pause after it. "A good one." "Good night, Mark." "Good night, Sarah." I called the next evening. Not texted. Called. I figured if I was going to be old-fashioned enough to get recruited by a grocery bag scheme, I might as well complete the theme. She answered on the third ring. "I was wondering if you were going to call." I waited a full 22 hours. Very restrained. "Barely. I wanted to ask if you'd like to have dinner with me this time. Somewhere your mother isn't controlling the exits." Sarah was quiet for half a beat. "Yes. The date was at a neighborhood place with decent food and tables, close enough that you learned more about strangers than you wanted." Sarah showed up looking nervous and trying not to. I liked that she didn't pretend everything was easy. "You look nice," I told her. "So do you. You clean up well for a man who travels by foot. My car is still in custody." "Frank?" "Frank says Monday."
Sunday.
"Exactly." We talked for an hour before the food came. She told me more about her work, about moving back closer to her mother after a bad year, about trying to rebuild routines that belonged only to her. She didn't give details, and I didn't ask for them. I told her about my job, my quiet house, my habit of fixing other people's problems and avoiding my own. "That sounds lonely," she said. "It's peaceful. Those aren't always different." I looked at her. "No, they are not." The night had that dangerous ease where time starts acting like it has no responsibility. I forgot to check my phone. She forgot to pretend she wasn't enjoying herself. We were sharing a dessert neither of us had planned to order when a man stopped beside our table. Sarah's face changed before he spoke. "Unbelievable," he said. "You've got to be kidding me." I looked up. Early 30s, expensive shirt, angry smile. He wasn't looking at me like I was a person. He was looking at me like I was evidence. Sarah set her spoon down. "Trevor, don't, he laughed. "That's what you have to say?" I kept my voice even. "We're having dinner." He leaned toward Sarah. "You move fast." A couple at the next table went quiet. Sarah's shoulders pulled tight, but her voice stayed steady. "Leave." Trevor pointed at me without looking away from her. "Does he know? Did you tell him why the wedding stopped? Or did you leave out the part where you humiliated me?" Sarah's face went pale. I stood up slowly, not because I wanted to fight, because sitting while a man performed at a woman's table felt wrong. "Take a step back," I said. Trevor finally looked at me. "This isn't your business. You made it public. That was your first mistake." He smiled like he wanted an audience. "You have no idea who she is. I know who's making a scene in a restaurant." His jaw shifted. "Stay out of it." No. The word was small. It did the job. The manager started moving toward us. Sarah whispered, "Mark, please." I didn't take my eyes off Trevor. "You're going to walk out. You're going to do it now." You're not going to raise your voice at her again in front of me." Trevor laughed once. "Or what? Or you'll keep talking, and every person here will watch you prove exactly why she's better off at this table." That hit him. Not enough to calm him, but enough to make him notice the room. People were watching. Phones were out. His performance had turned on him. He leaned in just slightly. "This isn't over. I didn't think men like you enjoyed finishing things cleanly." His face tightened, but the manager arrived, and Trevor backed away with one last look at Sarah. "You'll regret this," he said. Sarah didn't answer. After he left, the whole restaurant pretended to go back to dinner. Nobody did it convincingly. I sat down. Sarah's hands were folded in her lap. "I'm sorry," she said. "No." She blinked. "You don't apologize for him. You shouldn't have had to deal with that. I've dealt with worse than a loud man in fitted sleeves." A broken laugh escaped her. Then her eyes filled and she looked away fast. "I need to tell you," she said, "before you hear it from someone else. You don't owe me a full report tonight." "Yes, I do." I waited. "We were engaged," she said. 3 weeks before the wedding, I found out he had been with someone else. Not a rumor, not a misunderstanding. I ended it. He told people I panicked, that I embarrassed him, that I was unstable. I stopped correcting everybody because I was tired, and now he saw me with you. So now his pride has a new hobby. She gave me a wet, tired smile. "That's one way to put it. I'm not scared off, Sarah. You should be. Probably. I make questionable choices. I ate your mother's pie after she trapped me." She stared at me, then laughed again, softer this time. "I don't want you dragged into this," she said. "I understand. I mean it. I heard you." Her eyes searched my face. "You're not going to tell me I'm being dramatic?" "No. I'm going to tell you that dessert is paid for, that your ex has bad timing, and that now I finally understand why a woman like you is still single." She looked confused, because the last guy was apparently committed to lowering the local average. Small but real. Something changed between us at that table. Not because I saved her. I didn't. She had already saved herself when she walked away from him. I just stayed seated after seeing the mess. After that night, I didn't rush her. I wanted to. I wanted to call every day, show up, prove I wasn't Trevor. But proving you're not another man is still making the other man the center of the room, so I moved carefully. The first excuse was her mother's kitchen cabinet. Evelyn called me herself. "Mark, do you fix hinges?" "I fix a lot of things." "Why?" "My cabinet door is trying to become independent." "Does Sarah know you called me?" "Sarah knows many things. Not all things, Evelyn. She'll be here Saturday. Bring a screwdriver." I showed up Saturday morning with a small tool bag and found Sarah in the kitchen, arms crossed. My mother said the cabinet was an emergency. "It's hanging slightly uneven," I said after checking it. Sarah looked toward the hallway. "Mom," Evelyn called back, "a home should have standards." I tightened the hinge while Sarah handed me screws I didn't need. She watched me work like she wanted to say something and couldn't decide where to start. "You don't have to keep doing this," she said. "I know. She's using broken things as bait." "I know. And you're okay with that?" I closed the cabinet and opened it again to test it. "Sarah, I manage maintenance for a living. At least here nobody emails me about judgmental toilets." She smiled. "You're making it hard to argue. That's because I'm holding a screwdriver. Gives me authority." Those Saturdays became a pattern: a loose porch rail, a sticking bathroom door, a loose handle on the pantry. Half the things Evelyn reported were real. The other half were created by a woman with too much time and dangerous optimism. But the time at the house mattered. Sarah was different there, less guarded. She made coffee, teased me about my repair posture, told me small things without acting like they were confessions. One afternoon, while I fixed the latch on the back gate, she stood nearby holding the screws. "You're patient," she said. "With gates?" "With my mother. With me." I looked at the latch. "I'm not always patient. Sometimes I just know forcing things makes them worse." She was quiet. I glanced at her. "That wasn't a line." "I know." She handed me a screw. "That's why it worked. We didn't kiss that day. We almost did." I could tell by the way the conversation stopped, by the way she didn't move back when I stood too close near the gate. But then Evelyn opened the kitchen window and yelled, "I made sandwiches." Sarah stepped back, laughing under her breath. She has radar, military grade. The first time Sarah came to my house, she brought takeout because she said any man living alone with a half-empty fridge needed supervision. I told her my fridge was emotionally independent and didn't appreciate judgment. She walked through the small living room, looked at the clean counters, the repaired bookshelf, the stack of mail sorted by category, and smiled. "This is exactly how I thought your house would look. Careful, that sounds insulting. It's not. It's calm. Calm is what people call boring when they're being polite." She turned to me. "I don't think you're boring." There it was again. That step closer. She knew it. I knew it. Neither of us made a joke fast enough. We ate at my kitchen table. After dinner, she helped clear plates, and when I reached for the same container she did, our hands touched. Neither of us moved right away. "I should probably go soon," she said. "Probably. Do you want me to?" "No." She looked at me then, and there was no confusion in it. Good. I kissed her in the kitchen, slow enough that either of us could stop it. She didn't stop it. She put one hand against my chest, not pushing me away, just keeping herself steady. When we pulled apart, she laughed once. Nervous. "My mother is going to be unbearable." She already was. True. After that, we were no longer pretending this was just dinner and cabinet repairs. We were careful, but not cold. She still had moments where she pulled back. A text would go unanswered longer than usual. A plan would become maybe, for no clear reason. I let some of it breathe, but I didn't disappear. One night she called and said, "I'm sorry I've been weird. You've been medium weird." "Mark." "What?" "I'm being generous," she sighed. "I keep waiting for you to decide this is too much. I'm 34, Sarah. I don't need perfect. I need honest. I'm trying. I can work with trying." That should have been the hardest part. It wasn't. 2 weeks later, she called me while I was leaving work. I knew something was wrong before she spoke. Her breathing was uneven, and she tried to sound normal, which made it worse. "Are you busy?" she asked. "I'm walking to my truck." "What happened?" "Nothing. I mean, not nothing. Sarah." She broke. "He's telling everyone it was me." I stopped beside my truck. "Trevor? He's saying he ended it because I was seeing someone else. He's saying I made him look bad because I got caught. People from the old wedding list are messaging me. A woman from my old church sent me this awful message about accountability. Mark, I can't. Where are you? At home. Your place or your mom's? My apartment. I'm coming. No." Her voice sharpened through the tears. "Please don't. I can sit outside. I don't have to come in. No, I mean, don't get involved. Please." He wants that. He wants a reaction. If you confront him, he'll twist that too. I opened my truck door and stood there with one hand on the frame. "Then what do you want me to do?" "I don't know." That was the most honest answer she could have given. "I just need you to not make it worse," she said. I closed my eyes for a second. "Okay. Promise me." I hated that promise. Not because I wanted to play hero. I didn't. I hated it because I could hear how trapped she felt. A man was dirtying her name to clean his own, and she was asking me to stand still because she had learned that movement could cost her more. "I won't make it worse," I said. "That's not the same thing. It's the promise I can honestly make." She was quiet. "I care about you," I said. "I'm not going to pretend I don't, but I hear you. Thank you." After we hung up, I sat in my truck for 10 minutes, then I drove to Evelyn's house. She opened the door before I knocked twice. I wondered how long it would take. "You know?" She called me first, tried to sound calm, failed. I stepped inside. "I need Trevor's address." Evelyn's eyes narrowed. "Sarah asked you not to interfere. She asked me not to make it worse." That is lawyer wording from a man who fixes hinges. I'm not going there to fight him. Good. You'd upset Sarah. I'm going there to give him one clean chance to stop. Evelyn folded her arms. She looked smaller without her grocery bags and battlefield confidence, but not weaker. "She'll be angry if she finds out." "Maybe. You willing to risk that?" I took a breath. I'm willing to risk her being angry with me if the alternative is watching her get buried under his version of events. Evelyn stared at me for a long moment. Then she went to a drawer near the phone, took out a small notebook, and wrote an address on a page. He moved back in with his brother, she said. Duplex on Miller. Don't do anything stupid. I saved stupid for Frank's repair estimates. She handed me the paper. Mark. I stopped. If you're doing this because you want to be the hero, don't. I'm not. If you're doing it because you think Sarah can't handle her life, don't. I don't. Then why? Because he's counting on decent people staying polite. Evelyn nodded once. Go. Trevor's brother's place was 15 minutes away in a row of duplexes with narrow driveways. Trevor answered the door in sweatpants and a t-shirt, holding his phone like he had been enjoying himself. His smile disappeared when he saw me. You lost? No. He looked past me. Sarah send you? No. Then you're dumber than you look. I doubt that. I look pretty committed to a bad idea. He tried to close the door. I put one hand against it. Not hard. Just enough. We're going to have a conversation, I said. No, we're not. Yes, we are. You can have it here with your neighbors hearing. Or you can step outside. His brother appeared behind him, a heavier guy with tired eyes. Trev, who is this? Nobody. I looked at the brother. Your brother is spreading lies about a woman who left him after he gave her a reason to. I'm here to help him stop before this becomes a police report for harassment and defamation. Trevor laughed, but it came out thin. You don't know anything. I know enough. I know there are messages posts. Witnesses from the restaurant. I know Sarah has people who can confirm why the wedding stopped. And I know you're not doing this because you want truth. You're doing it because she had dinner with me, and you couldn't stand seeing her calm. His brother looked at Trevor. That was useful. Trevor stepped outside and pulled the door mostly closed behind him. You think you can scare me? No. I think you're already scared. I'm just organizing it. His face twisted. She tell you she's innocent? That's cute. I took out my phone. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to record a video. You're going to say the rumors you spread about Sarah were false. You're going to say she didn't cause the end of the engagement. You're going to say you were angry and embarrassed, and you're going to apologize. He stared at me. You're insane. No. Insane would be coming here to swing on you and give you exactly the story you want. I'm giving you the boring option. I'm not recording anything. Okay. I tapped my phone awake. What are you doing? Calling the non-emergency line first. Then Sarah can decide how much documentation she wants to gather. Screenshots, witness statements, restaurant staff, messages. Your brother can explain whether you've been using his place while contacting people to smear her. It'll be dull and official, and very bad for your image. His brother opened the door again. Trevor, what did you do? Trevor snapped. Stay inside. I looked at him. You keep trying to control rooms. You're not good at it. For the first time, he didn't have a comeback. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't threaten his body. I didn't insult him beyond what the situation earned. I gave him a clean picture of consequences. Men like Trevor understand consequences when they stop being emotional and start being inconvenient. 5 minutes later, he stood on the small porch staring into his phone camera. Again, I said. He glared. I already did it. You mumbled through the part where you admitted it was false. Again. His brother stood inside the doorway, silent. Trevor hit record. My name is Trevor Haynes. I've been telling people things about Sarah Whitaker that were not true. Sarah did not end our engagement because she was seeing someone else. I said that because I was angry and embarrassed. The things I said about her character were false. I'm sorry for spreading them, and I'm asking people to stop repeating them. Add that you won't contact her again, I said. His jaw worked. I won't contact her again. And you won't contact people about her. And I won't contact people about her. He stopped recording and shoved the phone toward me. Happy? No. But this is useful. He sent the video to an email address I created on the spot. I checked it before I left. At the bottom of the steps, he called after me. She know you're here. I turned. No. He smiled a little. That'll go well. Maybe not, but you won't be the problem anymore. I drove home, sat at my kitchen table, and watched the video 3 times. It felt wrong to send it. It felt more wrong not to. Sarah had asked me not to get involved. I had gotten involved. I could dress it up with technicalities, but I wasn't going to lie to myself. I made a choice because I believed safety mattered more than being liked in that moment. Maybe that was arrogant. Maybe it was necessary. Sometimes adult decisions don't come with clean labels. I emailed the video to Sarah from the anonymous account. No message, just the attachment. Then I waited. She called 20 minutes later. Did you send this? I looked at the phone for 2 rings before answering. Yes. Silence. Mark, I know. You went to him? Yes. After I asked you not to? Yes. Her voice shook. Why? Because he was counting on you being too exhausted to fight back and everyone else being too polite to make him stop. I told you I didn't want this. You told me you didn't want it worse. I believed him continuing would be worse. That wasn't your decision. No, it wasn't. That silence was worse than yelling. I'm not going to argue with you, I said. You have every right to be angry. I won't tell you I did it perfectly. I won't tell you I had permission. I didn't. I just couldn't stand by while he kept hurting you with no cost. Her breathing changed. He apologized, she said quietly. He admitted the rumor was false. How did you get him to do that? I gave him the boring option. Despite everything, she let out a tiny sound that might have been a laugh. What does that mean? It means no fists, no drama. Just consequences, documentation, and the possibility of police involvement if he kept going. You scared him. I clarified. You always do that. What? Make things sound less intense than they are. I'm trying not to make myself look better than I was. She was quiet again. I'm mad at you, she said. I know. I'm also relieved. I know. No, you don't. I spent weeks feeling like I had to either defend myself forever or disappear. And now there's a video of him saying it, his own mouth mark. Then use it. I already posted it. I sat back. You did? Yes. With my own explanation. Short, clear, no drama. I said I wasn't going to carry someone else's story anymore. That sounds like you. My phone is exploding. Good exploding? Some good, some awkward. A lot of people apologizing because apparently adults still need video evidence to stop being disappointing. That tracks. She breathed out. My mother says you're either brave or extremely annoying. She's not wrong. I don't know what to do with you right now. That's fair. I need time to be mad. Take it. But don't disappear. I closed my eyes. I won't. Good. She hung up first. For 2 days, we didn't see each other. We talked once, briefly. She was sorting through messages, correcting people, blocking a few, accepting apologies from others only when she felt like it. Trevor stayed silent. Apparently, the video reached enough people that his version collapsed under its own weight. On the 3rd evening, Sarah showed up at my house with no warning. I opened the door and found her standing there with a paper bag. I brought dinner, she said. You okay? No. Come in. She walked to the kitchen like she had been there 100 times. She set the bag on the table, then turned to face me. I need to say this without you interrupting. I leaned against the counter. Okay. I'm still upset that you went behind my back. I know. She pointed at me. That was not an invitation. I shut my mouth. She nodded. I asked you not to step into it because I was scared. Not because I thought you were weak, not because I wanted to protect Trevor. I was scared that, if you pushed him, he would make me pay for it. I listened. But you were right about one thing. I was disappearing. I was letting him decide how small my life got because I was tired of cleaning up his mess. She looked down, then back at me. When you sent the video without attaching your name, I understood what you were trying to do. You gave me the choice to use it or not. You didn't post it for me. You didn't stand in front of everybody and take credit. I didn't want credit. I know. That's why I'm here. I let myself breathe. She stepped closer. But if we're going to be anything real, you don't get to make secret decisions about my life because you think you're right. You're right. I need to know you hear that. I do. No clever answer? I'm fighting every instinct I have. That got a small smile. I took a step closer, then stopped. I'm sorry I crossed the line. I'm not sorry he stopped. Both are true. She looked at me for a long second. That's annoyingly honest. I've been called worse this week. She set her hand against my chest the same way she had the first time we kissed. I don't want a man who takes over. I want one who stands with me. I can do that. You already did. Just, next time, stand where I can see you. That one stayed with me. We ate dinner, but not much at first. There was too much relief in the room, too much unfinished anger. Too much of that strange warmth that comes after two people almost lose something they hadn't fully named yet. Later, on the couch, she leaned into me and said, I posted the video because I was done being polite about my own life. That was you. Not me, I know. Good. She looked up. You're learning. Slowly. Don't tell Frank. From there, things didn't become perfect. They became better, which is different. Sarah still had hard days. Some people from her past tried to slide back in with soft apologies and no accountability. She handled them. I didn't write her responses. I didn't stand over her shoulder. When she asked what I thought, I told her. When she didn't, I kept my mouth shut, which, I'll admit, remains one of mankind's harder maintenance tasks. Trevor didn't contact her again. His brother apparently made that very clear. The restaurant incident faded into a story we could tell with less tightness in our voices. Evelyn, of course, took partial credit for everything. One Sunday, we went to her house for dinner, and Evelyn opened the door with a satisfied smile. I knew the grocery bags would work. Sarah kissed her mother's cheek. You did not know anything. You gambled with produce. And won. I held up a reusable bag. I brought oranges. Felt symbolic. Sarah pointed at me. Don't encourage her. Evelyn took the bag. Too late. He's family now. That word hit the room, and for once Evelyn seemed to realize she had stepped on something tender. Sarah looked at me, waiting to see if I would flinch. I didn't. Family gets fed? I asked. Evelyn smiled. Family helps set the table. Yes, Mom. A month later, Sarah and I started talking about practical things. Not fantasy. Not wedding talk. Real things. Commutes, lease dates, furniture. Whether my place had enough closet space, whether her coffee maker was better than mine, which she claimed was not even a debate. You know, she said one night, standing in my kitchen, moving in together because your house has better parking is very romantic. It also has a stable water heater. Be still my heart. I'm offering reliability. America used to value that. She laughed and opened a cabinet. This shelf is mine. You haven't moved in yet. I'm establishing a beachhead. Strong language for coffee mugs. She turned, holding one of her mugs, and her expression changed from playful to serious. Are you sure? Yes. You didn't even pause. I've had time. I come with complications. You come with a coffee maker and strong opinions. I've survived worse. Mark, I moved closer. I'm sure. She nodded, but her eyes got shiny. I never thought calm could feel this good. Careful. You'll ruin my boring reputation. She kissed me, and this time there was no fear behind it. Not none, maybe. People like us don't become brand new just because love shows up. But there was trust. There was choice. There was the feeling that we had both seen enough to stop pretending easy was the same as safe. By the end of summer, half her things were at my house, and half my weekends belonged to Evelyn's repair list. My truck was running again, though Frank tried to convince me the delay had built character. Sarah still worked too hard. I still overthought boundaries when I cared too much. Evelyn still bought more groceries than one woman needed, and acted shocked when someone offered to carry them. But my house stopped feeling empty. There were shoes by the door that weren't mine. Sarah's laughed from the living room while she argued with her mother on speakerphone. Dinner plans that turned into grocery lists. Quiet evenings that didn't feel like silence anymore. One night, Sarah found me looking at the front porch after Evelyn had left. What are you thinking? She asked, that I almost kept walking. When? The day I saw your mom with those bags. Sarah came beside me. But you didn't. No. Why? I thought about it. Eggs were in danger. She laughed and leaned into my side. That's your answer? It's the manly version. And the real one? I put my arm around her. I guess I was tired of going home to nobody. She stayed quiet for a moment. I'm glad you stopped, she said. So is your mother? My mother is unbearable. She's also undefeated. Sarah looked up at me. Don't tell her that I value my safety. We stood there a while, not making big speeches, not promising forever like people in movies who don't have bills or plumbing issues. We had plans instead. Her lease ending in October, my spare room becoming an office. A new couch we both hated less than the old one. Dinner with Evelyn every Sunday unless she claimed an emergency hinge situation earlier. That was enough. More than enough. I used to think a peaceful life meant keeping distance from anything complicated. Then Sarah walked into her mother's kitchen, angry about groceries, beautiful without trying, and carrying a past that still had teeth. I didn't fix her life. She wouldn't have let me, and she would have been right. But I learned that respecting someone's boundaries doesn't mean standing outside the fire and calling it support. Sometimes it means asking where to stand. Sometimes it means admitting when you stood in the wrong place. And sometimes, if you're lucky, it means the woman you almost lost opens your cabinet, claims a shelf, and decides to stay. Would you have confronted Trevor or respected Sarah's request completely? Do you think Mark crossed the line, or did he do what needed to be done?